Happy Tuesday. I know it says Motivational Monday, but we're doing it today. I'm here with my man Stallion. If you would go ahead and tell people a little bit about yourself.
Yo, what's good, guys? My name is Marco, also known as Stallion. I am, was previously full-time, now part-time streamer, content creator, doing a few other bits these days, lecturing, consulting, and just general all-round influencer. I've been doing this now for the whole thing, probably just over 6 years. I'm based in the Midlands in the UK, and we're in my channel. We're all about just having a good time, vibing out, trying to bring good vibes to people's days. And just want to say a big shout out to Titan for having me here today. Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. All right. So, first question: how would
Yo.
you define motivation, or what does motivation mean to you?
I mean, for me, like motivation is the feeling of just waking up every day and just, I guess, just being lucky. I mean, I say lucky. I've worked hard for it, but like being in a position of just being able to go out there and do what I want to every day and being able to like push for my goals, I guess. Because anything could happen to anyone at any time for things to be taken away from you. So I guess just for me, motivation literally just comes in from the fact that I don't know, that I can just wake up and be able to do what I want to do every day and push for the very top of it. So um, that's what I would say it would be for me at my core. And if I'm not motivated myself, and if I'm not motivated, then as far as I'm concerned, who's going to do it for me? So
Yeah, I feel that. That's awesome, man. I get that too. It's the best thing, being able to motivate yourself, and
yeah,
if you won't do it, no one else is going to. You know what I mean?
amen.
So. All right, so tell us what got you into streaming in the first place. Did you start watching streams, or was it kind of just, hey, I'm gonna hit the go live button, I'm playing games anyway?
Well, I mean, I've been watching not necessarily just streams, but like games for a long time. Obviously, playing games for a long time as well. I don't know how old you are, Ty. I'm 32.
I'm
Um,
31 on Saturday.
There you go. Happy birthday for Saturday, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
So yeah, we're around the same generation. I started gaming when I was 4 years old. My dad bought me a PS1 for my fourth birthday, when the PS1 first got released. So I grew up playing that, the Game Boy Color, GameCube, Nintendo 64, all that good stuff. So I've been basically gaming my whole life. I was kind of like instilled with it at a very, very young age. Um, and yeah, so I kind of like followed gaming all the way up until like secondary school, up until university. Then obviously like streaming got really popular, and we started seeing the introduction of things like Justin.tv before what Twitch was before Twitch. I started following things like Major League Gaming, for Halo, Call of Duty,
Oh
and
yeah.
following the pro scenes. Yeah, really good times, man. I used to love watching the MLG back in the day on Halo 3 and
oh,
Modern Warfare 2.
oh, yeah, those are the
Um,
best.
yeah, literally, I used to live for those weekends. So that kind of like built up to my early days, and then I actually wanted to be a professional COD player. Back when we had things like Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, but at that time, I actually had to kind of forget about that dream because I had to go to university because my family being quite a traditional one pushed me down a quite a traditional route, and they said, look, you can do whatever you want in life, but go to uni and make sure that you've always got a backup plan. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, did all that, got my degree, came out the other side, got a few years of event management experience, which is what I have my degree in. And then a friend of mine in 2018 just said, look, we play games together all the time anyway. Why don't you just start streaming for yourself? Just give it a try, see how you find it. And at the time, I didn't have good equipment. I had like the worst equipment ever. I always talk about my OG setup because I look at the photos of it and think, wow, how was I ever doing anything off that?
Yeah, right.
Um, and yeah, I clicked go live, got addicted, as most of us do. And then within 8 months, I saw so much success that I quit my full-time job and went full-time. So yeah.
Nice, awesome. And so you were mainly a COD trainer at one point, or did you start variety and then kind of move to COD, or?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with COD, Halo, and Battlefield being my forever favorite franchises. And in coming into streaming, obviously because of my setup, I wasn't able to play stuff like COD because I didn't have the setup for it. Obviously, for you and for those who know, quite hard to stream, especially AAA FPS games. They're quite demanding on your
Yep.
PCs. So I had to start really light, to be honest. I started with things like League of Legends because I was playing that at the time. I used to play Star Wars: The Old Republic. I used to play Skyrim was a good one. That on fully low settings. Things like Sniper Ghost Warrior and stuff like that. And I still remember, even to this day, getting one of my very, very early raids. I remember getting a raid of 12, being so excited that I had like 15 viewers in my stream, and then my PC black screen 2 minutes after. Um, So I lost everything. I had to reset my
Oh,
yeah, I'm
that's
not
the
happy.
worst. The
But
worst.
that's where it starts, bro. So yeah, started off variety, then went into horror, and then I moved into FPS, and then since then it's just been between that and like variety, I guess.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, my first game that I ever played was Quantum Break, so that's
Oh,
how
okay.
it was a cool little story game because you can have
Yeah.
like the actual like TV show in it too, so it was kind of cool. And then I
Sweet.
kind of focused on Apex when that came out, and then now I'm just variety. I pretty much play whatever I want when I want, so it's cool.
That's how you keep yourself happy as well, right? It stops
Yeah,
which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point, but that stops the whole burnout, right? Just playing
yeah,
games that you enjoy.
exactly. So we could even leave that into the next one. What do you think the hardest part about streaming is?
Oh man, I think one of the points has got to be that what we just mentioned. Like, if we're not talking about content, if we're talking about just live streaming here, it's definitely trying to stick to something in particular because, like, you know as well as I do, and I'm sure other people who are content creators as well. Like, you want to focus mostly on one game because it builds a consistent audience and it brings in repetitive like people and whatnot. But the problem with doing that is the moment you burn out, you risk losing everything that you've just built. So I think that is definitely the hardest one is deciding one, the reason that you're doing it. Two, do you stick on the same game and keep doing the same game to build a consistency? Or three, do you just play whatever makes you happy because you enjoy gaming? So I guess it's about knowing that bottom line, where you stand, where you start, and like just making that decision. Because I'm 6 years in, bro, and I've gone from one game to variety to one game to variety, to which I'm doing variety now, but I'm still playing a lot of mainly Fortnite at the moment because it's doing. Firstly, it's bringing a lot of growth for me, and secondly, I'm just really enjoying it. But I went into this year making sure to say I will not limit myself if a game comes out that I really want to play, and that's the big difference for me this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing Fortnite did was add no build. I feel like
Yeah,
everybody that hates, fighting skyscrapers is like, yeah,
yeah,
this is the mode for me. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I definitely feel that because I was on the Apex grind for a really long time, and I got to the point where I was eventually good, and then I was getting mad and heated and just rage
yeah,
streams, and I was like, I don't want that to be me. Like, I don't want to yell at the screen and get raged, lag, and all that stuff. I'd rather be able to talk to my chat and actually, communicate with the community. So once I moved
yeah,
over to Kick, it really set into like just do whatever I want. At that same time was the Respawn Recruits, which is like the way to get a partnership through
yeah.
like kind of like a recruitment challenge. And so it was like the best time because I was doing, FIFA, I did horror games, I did a way out playthrough. So it was like just something different every day, every week. So it really
Yeah.
kind of just kept going. So now like every week I'm playing something new besides for like I'll play Fortnite on Tuesdays for the most part, but then Wednesday I'm playing like Far Cry, Inside the Lives, like things like that. And I think that helps a lot is just being able to do what makes you happy and playing whatever you want.
Couldn't agree more. After many burnouts and countless times of committing to something and regretting that I committed to it, definitely. So I think we're definitely on our journeys that we've come to the same point now, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm going on 5 years, so we're both like right there too. So we've been
Crazy how
through it.
quick that time's gone, bro, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been through it.
100%.
Um, what is something you would tell somebody just starting out streaming to be the main
What,
focus?
like now, what, in 2024?
2024, someone just
Oh
starting.
man.
I know there's so much.
Oh, where do you even start? Like streaming has come such a long way since when we started. Like it's not what it was. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah,
I mean it in like if you really want to make it in the streaming world in any kind of capacity now, it's more competitive than ever. Everybody wants to do it, everybody even on the technology's come so far between consoles, PCs, and even mobiles that the ease of streaming has just become more and more available. We had obviously COVID lockdown that exploded our industry
yeah,
probably like 10 years faster than what it should have. Because you know, I honestly don't think that we would be anywhere near like where we are now if it wasn't for things like lockdown, because that basically turned so many people into streamers and gamers that weren't even doing it before.
yep,
So coming into it now, to be a live streamer is a whole different ballgame. You've got to be the all rounder. You can't just be the person who sits live all day every day. Now you've got to make engaging content. You've got to know how to build a brand. You have to know how to build a business. You know how to stick yourself apart from what other people are doing, and being able to do that all consistently as well is no easy thing. And it's the same as anything else, really. If you start a full-time self-employed business in any field, you're going to be dealing with a self-employed business, which is the struggles of being self-employed. And now, because of how competitive our industry is, and everybody wanting to be a top streamer, it ain't no different. So, to anyone who's wanting to start, depending on what your goal is, if it is full time and being successful, then you need to look at way more than just live streaming, because it is just live stream is like 10-20% of it. There's
Yeah,
so much more
and
to it now.
anymore, yeah. Now it's
Yeah.
all, you have to get on YouTube, you got to get on TikTok, you got to I would say networking is 100% the biggest thing. Like before you even start streaming, just go to other streams, get a connection with a couple, two, three streamers just so that we have
Yeah.
a couple people in, but definitely getting on. I feel like YouTube is more getting bigger and bigger than TikTok nowadays, honestly, even with the shorts, now you can do vertical
Yeah.
streams on shorts, things like that.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go the YouTube route if I was just starting.
Yeah, nice. I mean, yeah, it depends on what the creator wants to do, because doing long form is a whole different ball game. If it is short form content that you do want to do, which a lot of people choose to do these days, and which is probably the most popular now, because it's it's fast and people get the info that they want quickly. You can do that on both TikTok and YouTube at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's great watching the two platforms battle it out to try and get on top, because the people that win is us, right? We get, as they keep adding more features and they keep making themselves more competitive over the other one, we keep winning. So this is the things that you love to see.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So have there been any days where you kind of just felt like you didn't want to hit the go live button, and on those days or the next day, what got you through to hit that go live button?
Oh man, that's a question that hits home. I mean, if I'm honest, not a lot. I mean, I've streamed 6 years. I did it full time for 5. It's very rare where I don't want to hit the go live button, because I thrive on being in front of a camera and just being able to express myself and be like the person who I am. And so for me to feel like that, like something that would have to be very wrong. And I would say the only time I've really felt like that was actually mid last year, where I was going for a massive burnout and I guess, a bit of a depression phase in myself because of a lot of things. Um, as you know, and I'm sure as other content creators know, I was in the COD multiplayer scene. COD multiplayer over the last couple of years, for anyone who follows COD, will has just known that it's just been massive decline.
Yep.
If you're not in the Warzone scene or the pro scene now, and even the pro scene is one of those ones where it's a bit like hit and miss right now. You're really struggling, because there's just not a lot going on there anymore. And like for me and a lot of other content creators, we had to just kind of accept that. And for somebody who built a brand around that for 4 years straight, that was a very tough pill to swallow. And I think last year was the final nail on the coffin with Modern Warfare 2, because I just realized that I just cannot trust it anymore. So it got to the point where I didn't even want to go live. I was scared to switch games because I was scared about my view account, all of this and all of that. And I went through a little bit of a depression phase, came out of that, and now playing whatever game I want at all times. Sure, my Twitch numbers are down, which it is what it is, but I'm currently finding success in many, many other ways now, through platforms like TikTok, through content, sponsorships, and loads of other stuff. So even if you can't just succeed in one avenue, you just take a step back, have a look at the other opportunities, and then just build yourself around that instead. So I would say that was the only time really that I didn't really want to go live. And even then, like I still kind of wanted to. I just
Yeah.
felt a bit burnt out with the game that I was playing. So aside that, not really, because I love just talking to people. I love getting on. I love gaming. I love vibing. And if I wasn't doing anything, that's just what I would want to do anyway. So
Nice, awesome. Yeah, I think for a lot of new streamers, it's hard to hit the go live button because
yeah,
they tend to focus on the numbers a lot more, and that could be another big thing I tell people is don't worry about the numbers. They're gonna come and go. So followers too, they're gonna come and go because maybe your content changed and they don't like the content anymore. But
yeah,
it is what it is. You just gotta kind of do you. You gotta not look at the numbers. Shut your view count off. Just play the
yeah,
game. Don't even you put chat over here. Don't even have your stream up. Don't have the view count or anything. Just put chat over here. Don't worry about
yeah,
nothing. Like that's the other big thing I could tell people too, because that's a lot of that was my biggest downfall because I was so busy worrying about the numbers rather than just growing and trying to play the game. But now like switching over and just doing whatever I want, it's a lot easier and the vibes are a lot higher. I'm not
yeah,
like just sitting there bored, like not bored, but you know what I mean. Like I'm not like, oh, my
I
numbers
get
went
you.
from 5 to 2. Now I gotta be like, oh my god, what happened? You
Yeah.
know,
I
I
think
mean,
with numbers as well, it's one of those ones where it's like I don't look at them when I'm obviously streaming, but it is something that I still analyze and look at when it comes to either videos that I put out or like post stream summaries. And rather than taking them to heart, I use it as either inspiration to know where I can improve, or like because I think at some point, if especially if you want to do this full time or even part time, you have to take numbers into account in
Yep.
regards to knowing like financially, or if your stream is growing or if you're getting more followers or whatever it is. But I absolutely agree with you. When you're live, there is just no point in worrying about stuff like that, because if you do, like, it's things that you can't change anyway. So you should just focus on being an entertaining creator, making good content, and then those kind of things start coming in the future. So
Yep, absolutely. And if like you said, if you do want to care about numbers, just look after. Watch
yeah.
where if you do see that dip, try to see what happened during that dip and why you lost
Mhm.
those people. Go back to your VODs, go back to the analytics, just do all that stuff after. Don't do it while you're streaming, because you're just gonna bring the vibes down and it's gonna change the whole mood of the stream.
Yeah, great advice.
So what got you to join Fanatics? I know you were with Carnage for a while. So what was the switch over to Fnatic? What was the hype for them?
Damn, that's a great question. I've never actually been asked this on a podcast before. Okay, I'll give you a little backstory. So obviously I was with Carnage, got no bad blood with Carnage, had a great relationship with them. I think I was with them for about 2 years. And then for those who don't know, Carnage Clan are predominantly a COD-based clan, particularly one that's focused on like challenges and stuff. And for somebody like myself who, I guess has kind of like fallen out of love with Call of Duty, I say fallen out of love. I just don't commit to it as much as I used to now. It's just kind of like I play it whenever I fancy it, really. Like I was looking for something that would give me more of an open opportunity. And in the UK, Fnatic is one of the longest, if not the longest in the UK, that's still going, and one of the biggest orgs in the world. So when they come knocking, you don't really say no as a content creator. In America, that's the equivalent of getting picked up by somebody like FaZe, or Cloud9, or Team Liquid or Optic or something like that. In the UK, like, and even on a global basis, Fnatic are huge.
Yeah.
So I had a great opportunity. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was playing a game of Fortnite in uh February 2022. I still remember it. And I had somebody called B Sanya come into my stream and say, "Hey, I'm a talent scout from Fnatic, really enjoying your stream, would love to have a chat." And I was like, "You ain't a talent scout from Fnatic. Why would you be in here just watching me play Fortnite and just saying?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "This guy's lying. This guy's trolling me, bro." So, and then I remember, right, just completely like palming it off and not saying much about it. And then after, I was like, I looked at his username. I was like, "I'm gonna Google this username just in case." And then I went on Twitter to go check it, and it literally said talent manager at Fnatic. And I was like, "Oh my god, I think I've blown it." And at this point, obviously, I'd left Carnage because I just wanted to focus on playing and doing whatever I wanted to. I didn't want to be doing anything to do with COD at this point. So actually hit him up on Twitter afterwards, and just said to him, I was just like, "Look, thanks so much for coming into my stream today. Kind of trying to salvage the conversation, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, really hope you enjoyed it." And then he said to me, "Look, like I really, really enjoyed it. Actually, he was like, I love how interactive you are, how you can hold an audience, how you know what you're doing. Let's have a little chat." And what started off as a little chat ended up becoming a 8 to 9 month negotiation. And it was forward, it was backwards. They were sending, because I don't know how much you guys know about tier organizing things with a tier one team, but to get one thing organized with a tier one, it goes to one level, it scales all the way up, and then it scales all the way back down. So you get one thing changed, it has to go all the way to the top, get approved, and then comes all the way back down to come back to me.
That's
So
crazy.
when we were talking about things like like obviously salaries and stuff as well, because I'm on a contractual salary, I'm happy to say and disclose that. And I've been with them for over a year now. I've got a partner manager that looks after me. We had to get that all of that into place. We had to talk about details, how many hours I'll be streaming, what a contract would look like, what I'd good for them, what would they do for me, etc. And originally, the reason that they wanted to bring me on was actually to be involved in a YouTube podcast that they were going to start doing. But that podcast actually fell through, and it kind of left me and the marketing manager kind of sitting there, like talking to each other, like, I still really want to join Fnatic. And he was like, I still really want to bring you into Fnatic. So he actually created a gap that wasn't there, which for me, bro, was like an absolute honor
Yeah.
to be brought into a tier one team on a space that wasn't even there. And then since then, I've absolutely solidified my position here. Like, I've been here over a year. We've just agreed contractual renegotiations. So
Nice. Awesome.
again, which is insane for them to want to keep me. And yeah, we'll see. I don't aim to ever leave here. I'm, as you can see, in the orange and black right now, and but what I said to you when I went to a little bit depressed last year and I started changing games and changing content and doing this and doing that, they never once blinked and said we don't want you no more, we don't want to support you no more. At all times, I said, look, Stally, whatever you choose to do, we've got your back, we're here for you. And I'm like, bruh, getting that from a tier one team
Yeah.
is rare because a lot of tier one teams will be like, hey, we signed you for COD or we signed you to be on this platform. You're not doing this anymore. See you later. But they work with me, and now because of that, I'm a fanatic loyal forever. Like this team has my heart now. I ain't going nowhere. Even if they kick me out, bro, I'm still be like the biggest fanboy ever. You know, so I
Yeah.
love it here. It's like home for me now. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That's amazing.
yeah, it's great.
So are you just kind of like a content creator for them? Is that like your title? I guess.
Yeah, so they pulled me in as a content creator. Originally, obviously, COD, like I said at the time. But they are honestly not bothered about what I do in terms of gaming and stuff now. When it comes to like activations and sponsor streams and partners, and because we do things with like Chill Blast, Sony, Jet Links,
Yeah.
as you can see, like down here, I really, really pride myself in making sure that activations are done on time, they're done properly, they're done with communication. All stats are always given and stuff. I've tried to make myself that I'm extremely reliable. And because of that, and because of like proving myself over and over again, yeah, I've solidified myself as a content creator here, and we'll see what happens over the next few years.
Nice. That's awesome, bro. Congratulations once again. That's
Thanks, man.
sick. So you do lectures, right? That's another thing you
Mm.
work on. So what's it like doing that in front of tons of people?
Do you know what? It's not until we have these discussions where I actually sit and just think about how hectic my life is, because I guess it's one of those things where it's like when you do it day to day, you just get used to it, right? But
Yeah.
you're like, you're doing this, okay, but you're doing that, and now you're doing this. I'm like, yeah, man, actually, I think maybe I am doing too much. But no, just to give kind of like a little bit of a brief, during that, it's actually funny that we're talking about this in this order because during that depression phase, which was last summer, I don't know how it works in America, but our semester start in September here. So the new year of university or
Yeah.
college, or whatever. Yeah, it kicks off around September. And this was around July where I was kind of like at my worst. And during the time, I'd actually been doing some things called associate lecturing at Northampton University. And what that means is whenever they talk around topics that I kind of like quote specialize in, they bring me in as a guest lecturer.
Gotcha.
Um, and I actually got that position through my girlfriend recommending me because esports is becoming a big thing over here in universities. I'm sure it's the same in America as well
Yep.
at the moment. So because of all of that, I got my foot in the door. I started teaching students. So I developed a really good relationship with the other lecturers and esports staff at Northampton, which is where I now teach. And then obviously I went through that really bad phase of not being sure where my numbers were at financially, being a little bit worried, I guess, because I own my own house now.
Yeah.
I've got a mortgage to pay. And when you put all of that on the back of a community to provide for you, that's when it gets really scary. So I said I need to take a step back here, and as much as I appreciate all the support that I get from the community and all the money that comes in from that, I don't want that to have to hold the roof above my head anymore. I want that just to be extra, just stuff that I can just do for other stuff.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had to, I guess, grow up a little bit and just take a separate stance because there was a lot riding on it. Obviously, my girlfriend lives with me, so I want to make sure I could support us both. Um, and so, yeah, they said to me, look, we have an opportunity coming up in September for a full-time position as a lecturer. And I said, look, I can't do full-time. I'm not quitting streaming altogether, which I'm really glad I didn't. He said, look, just apply because we really like you, how you are. I applied. I got into an interview. At the very end of the interview, I said, look, if I get this role, I can only do it part-time. I got a phone call the next day whilst drunk at a festival. Like he rang me at 5:30 on a Friday, bro. I was absolutely off my head. Um, and I saw the number. I was like, oh no, not now. And I thought he was going to ring me on like Monday or something because
Yeah.
the interview was on a Friday. And yeah, and I remember just running across the field, answering the phone. He was like, Marco, I want to offer you the role as a part-time position. And I just screamed. I was so happy. Because that means that I could still do streaming and content, but just have money coming in that keeps the roof above my head. And
Yeah.
that's where it leads to a lot more enjoyment. And I guess I will probably touch on it quite soonish, but it's bringing me a lot of experience as well. I'm teaching esports at the highest level now. I'm getting academic experience, I'm getting lecturing experience, and I'm teaching our industry at the highest level. So, as consultancy and things that I do as a consultant, that just validates me even more.
Yeah.
So,
So, what are some things you talk about in the class? Like, what do you talk about? Like orgs? You talk about the uprising of esports, things like that.
Yeah, it depends really, because esports as a course is not what a lot of people think it is. Like when I do like the open days, or we have like college students coming in, they're like, "Hey, I'm really interested in esports. Is it just you teaching people how to get better at games?" I'm like, not quite. I kind of wish it was. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that. No, esports is basically a business course that's molded to our industry. So the students still have to learn about marketing, building a brand, understanding media, PR, HR. You know, what other stuff do we do? Like events, like the importance of those, and just generally what you would learn in a business degree, but it's applied to our field. So that way, if you come in and do esports and you come out the other side and you came in wanting to be a streamer, you might leave wanting to be a marketeer, or you may leave wanting to make your own org or whatever. We make sure that we give students a holistic course so that they can get a little bit of everything and then come out of university and go, I want to do this now because I trialed it in a safe space at university. So when it comes to me, in my first module, I'm a module leader of a second year group called Streaming and Casting.
Mhm.
So I literally teach like our industry of what we do here in streaming, casting, what that means, what it does, what it could do for your business,
Yeah.
etc. Which is really cool. And then last year I was also teaching esports event fundamentals, and I was also teaching digital esports marketing. This year I'm doing business fundamentals. So I'm teaching people what it's like to make your own business, how to do it, the realities of making your own business. And I'm also doing understanding esports media, where we look at the rise of esports, what people say about it in newspapers, articles, and how you need to understand what the media says and how to flow with that to make yourself relevant and to grow your company in future. So
Nice. That's awesome. That's a lot of
mm,
stuff. That's a lot of
it's a lot of
things.
stuff. Mm.
Have you had anybody in your class be like, "Hey, I recognize you from streaming," like before you even started lectures or anything like that?
Yeah, so there's a guy in my, or there was a guy. He's now, well, no, actually, he's still in his second year. He was in my streaming and casting one, and he said that he used to watch my streams during lockdown on COD because I would say during COD lockdown, I managed to get to a pretty incredible point in my career that I probably would never mimic again. I was averaging nearly 500 viewers on Twitch on Modern
Yeah.
Warfare. We blew up on that, and he said he used to watch me during that, which was really fun times. And then just a couple of people that have just said they've seen me on videos and stuff, which is quite cool. And a lot of my students come and watch my streams now, whether that's on TikTok, Twitch, or whatever, because it's esports, right? They're all
Yeah.
gamers, so they love it. And yeah, we have a really cool cohort, and I think that's why I really love teaching esports, because at the root of it, we're all actually gamers, so we all get it. We all understand the things that we're talking about. So we have a really cool group of people.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, how big are the classes usually? Is it like a full or is it like 10, 15?
Yeah, so esports at Northampton has been going for 3 years. Around the same ish for other universities. It's only in the last, I would say, 3, 4 years where it's really blowing up in the UK. And every year the cohort to apply doubles. So we are getting double applicants every year. I have a full classroom, like literally like 24 students.
Nice.
Um, so at this point now, it's getting to the point where the people who are applying come this year, we have to be very select now, because more
Yeah.
and more people want to do it every year. And it's one of those things, bro, where people used to say, "Oh, streaming's not a real job." Lockdown happened, boom, everybody now streams.
Yeah.
Then it got to like esports is not a real degree, and now people are starting to understand. No, it is a real degree. You need to understand it because it's not going anywhere. Like our business is multi-billion-dollar. What's not real about that? So
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's really cool. So full classrooms at the moment, and like attendance wise is really good because they really want to be there. And that's the thing that again I like about esports. It's not like they're just there doing sports or business and the kind of like, I don't really want to be here. They all chose to do esports. They want to be there. They want to learn in that field. So
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome to have a full classroom of devoted people that want to learn the
yeah,
business side of kind of esports.
yeah.
All right. So my last original question
Hmm.
is there a motivational quote or like a song lyric or something that gets you through your day, day by day, or something that like really hits home?
I think it comes back to the first point that you said to me, that if you don't wake up being motivated every day to go out there and smash it, who's going to do it for you? That's one that really, really strikes home for me. And I think when I do my teaching and consulting, I kind of do it like a little bit like a drill sergeant, I guess. that's kind of the way that I do it. I'm very like, I'd say I'm quite easygoing, but like when I want to get a point across, it's like, guys, you need to listen up because it's really important,
Yeah.
And um, it's one of those things that it's true, bro. If you ain't
Chad, do you have
gonna,
any
sorry,
questions, chat?
if you don't wake up every day with something to prove, then you'll just decline. When you get comfortable, you start declining. That if you go in every single day with something to prove and trying to push yourself to be better and better, that's when you'll always keep going up, up and up. So that would be my biggest motivational thing. Wake up every day. It's a new day. You got to prove yourself all over again. You do that. You get up the next day and you keep going, and
Yeah.
you just keep proving and proving until you get to where you need to be.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, you definitely got to find it in yourself, especially
Yeah,
for people that are starting like weight loss journeys and stuff. Because I see, you've been in
yeah,
the gym.
yeah.
So how's that been going as well?
Well, I'm actually going right after this. Funnily, you ask.
Nice.
So I will show you on. Let me get it on my phone. So I have a weight loss. Well, it's Samsung Health, so it's not really like a weight loss app, but um, we have the reason that I got into the gym. So I've been doing the gym for years, but I kind of was always going and never really having a clue like what I was doing properly.
Yeah.
So me and my girlfriend got a personal trainer together, and we said, look, we want to take it really seriously. And over, if I'm just getting on my health app right now, since we started training, I think when I first started it, I was probably around 185 no, about 85 kg, I would say. Um, which I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but we basically started doing calorie counting from September last year. And at the time, I was 178 pounds. I'm now 165,
Nice.
um, which is nuts. And that's just cutting out snacking, training 3 days a week. I drink, as you can see, 4 liters of this a day. Eat loads of protein. I can't eat more than 1900 calories a day apart from once a week. And currently in the fittest position I've ever been, bro. In my whole life, I was always something that I would consider myself either chubby or quite fat. Growing up in an Italian family, especially, it was just carbs, carbs, carbs.
Yep.
So that just came in my natural background. And I was never really truly happy with my body and physical appearance. So I said to myself over the last few years, I'm going to change this. I really want to do it. And I started working with a personal trainer, and man, like I see it in the gym now, like ways that I'd never have looked at myself before in regards to like I was always uncomfortable in things like t-shirts. I would never wear tight fitted tops. Now I just, yeah, really, really comfortable in myself. So honestly, looking after yourself, you only get one body. You got to look after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at my biggest before I started going to the gym, I was 215. I'm now down to 165, 170. I kind of
Wow.
float in there. So it's
Congrats.
been a big journey for me as well. But yeah, definitely just trying to I don't calorie count or anything like that. I just try to
Yeah.
eat like proteins every day,
Mhm.
little carbs, things like that. But I definitely been improving a lot more going to the gym. I go like 4 or 5 times a week, and it's
That's
cool
good.
because I go to Planet Fitness the first like 3 days, and then I go to like a regular gym the last 2 days, so I can kind of switch up the workouts and kind of build
Yeah.
different muscles and things like that. But I think the biggest thing is having people come to me for advice when it comes to like
Yeah.
fitness and stuff. Because I've had two people I work with, they're like skinnier, so they're trying to bulk up. So it's kind of hard for me to
Yeah.
give them information because I did the opposite. So
Yeah.
like, so I'm like, all you guys got to do is eat. You got to do the opposite of what I'm doing. Just eat a lot of food and work out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about calorie intakes and like just stacking protein. I think I haven't done the bulking phase yet. I know I'm getting close to that now. I'm probably around the same weight as you, which is great. And being able to do that, bro, without calorie count is massive. So that's some huge props to you for doing that. But I'm at the point now where I've done calorie counting for a year and a half, and I couldn't imagine not doing it now.
Yeah.
Like I love knowing what I eat every day now, like to the literal calorie. And it makes me feel better that when I get on that scale and I see a drop and I'm like, that's because I measured it all week and I've been drinking so much water. So yeah, it's good, man. It changes your life for sure.
Yeah, I could see calorie counting being like good if you consistently do it. Like for someone like
Yeah.
you don't want to get too low, but you don't want to get too high
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So it becomes a part of your routine, like we just talked about.
Yeah.
Like you think your life's not hectic, but until I go, hey, you do this, and this, and now you're
Yeah.
calorie counting, so add that in there. So it's like this. So it just
Yeah.
becomes a part of your life, and that's how you got to look at the gym. Is like it's not one big step. Just go to the gym,
Yeah.
walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes. At least you're getting there. You're doing something, and
Yeah.
then you don't have to start everything at once. And this is the biggest thing I tell everybody that's asked me, how I did it. when I first started, I was still eating bad. I was eating like 3 Hot Pockets a day. I was still doing like all this stupid stuff, but I was walking
Yeah.
25,000 to 30,000 steps a day at work.
A day, that's crazy.
So like I was still burning most of those calories off, and then I slowly switched. Hey, I'm not gonna bring hot box. I'm gonna do egg white burrito with turkey, bacon,
Yeah.
cheese, things like that. And then I slowly bring pasta every day now as my lunch. So it's
Nice.
just little things like that that people think that's my biggest thing is like you don't have to do it all at once. Little steps will get you farther than one giant leaps. Because then you're
And I
not
think
gonna.
also having someone to train with as well, I think is massive. When I used to go on my own, I'd get really unmotivated. I always
Yeah.
found that like I would either skip reps or I'd be like, I'm just not gonna bother doing this extra exercise. I'm gonna go home now. Whereas I train with my girlfriend and we train together and like we motivate each other. So it's nice having that person there to kind of like vibe with, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the two people I've gone with, they've increased their bench by 40 pounds each since going with me.
Nice.
So, and I make sure they don't skip out on reps. I
Yeah.
literally stand over their face and I'm like, you better get this weight up because I'm not helping you. So,
Love that. That's
um,
great.
yeah. So, do you have any questions you'd like to hear from me, or not for me, but answer? Do you have anything for me?
In the 5 years that you've been doing this, what is kind of like the ultimate goal now for you? Like, are you happy just doing what you're doing, or do you have like aspirations to do anything else with streaming and content?
I think for right now, I'm okay doing what I'm doing. I think eventually, if I had to choose something that I would want to blow up, I think it would be this podcast. I think,
Yeah,
I feel like this could reach a lot of people. I brought people on for weight loss. I brought in org owners. I've brought in, Jew. I've brought in just regular people that have done like respawn recruits and things like that. So I feel, and the reason I started this whole podcast was everybody has a story. It just takes one person to say it for someone to be
yeah,
like, yeah, okay, I'm not the only one going through this, and this is how they fixed it. Maybe I could try to fix it that way. So
yeah.
that was the main reason I started this. So if I had to choose anything to blow up, I think it would be this. I would want it to be this podcast,
Cool,
and I would want this to reach out to people.
cool, man. I wish you all the very best with the podcast. Like, I had a lot of fun sitting here chatting to you today, and obviously we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah,
It's good just to have like a proper sit down and catch up, right? So
yeah, absolutely. We'll have to get some Fortnite games in when I'm not sleeping until 3 o'clock.
hit me up. Hit me up. I know time zones are wacky, especially with the UK, and I
Yeah,
finish probably earlier now than I ever do. Like I get ridiculous tractions in the morning because there's not a lot of people streaming at that time in the
yeah.
morning, especially UK morning. So my schedule is moving earlier because I see a lot of opportunity there. But no, man, 100%. And again, thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on. All right, Chad, if you guys do not have any questions, that'll do it for us. We'll let this man go get his workout in with his
Sure.
girlfriend. But yeah, if you have anything coming up, you can drop it now. Let everybody know what's going on with you and future you. If you have anything crazy going on.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on this year, if I'm honest. A lot of things that I can't say because a lot of it's still kind of like under wraps.
Yeah.
But anybody who ever wants to come and see some kind of like chill vibe, well, I say chill vibes, hectic vibe, but like good vibe content. You're always welcome to come and vibe with us over at Stallion on Twitch and TikTok as well. And yeah, I'm just going to keep doing my thing, man, keep growing and just seeing where this year takes me.
Awesome, man. All right, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
No worries. Take care of yourself. Yeah, thanks again.